Well, hello, my stitchy friends. I thought I would stop by a little bit this afternoon. A lot of you have asked because I failed to include it in Did You See My Walls? I failed to include my Hardanger pieces. So I thought I'd do a quick video and show you the Hardanger work I have done over the years that I happen to still have in my house and for the most part use all the time. So this won't be too long of a video, but I thought I would share that with you today. And first of all, I want to say welcome to all of you that are returning, and a great big welcome, and I'm glad you're here to all the new subscribers I have gotten over the last couple weeks. I am totally overwhelmed, and it makes me so happy, and I hope you find things here that you enjoy and will subscribe and keep coming back. So, without further ado, let's have a look at the Hardanger pieces. Here we go. Oops, hold on. There we go. Okay, this is one of the very, very first pieces that I have done. I'm going to say this was back in the, let me think, 1980s. Yeah. And this was the first big piece I had done. At the time, I had a TV that was one of those console TVs, like it was the cabinet on the floor with the TV inside of it. And this was on top of the television. Until one day, I picked it up and not thinking at all, took a hold of the corner and went like this and shook it just to get some dust off. And what did I do? I caused some threads to come loose. So this one has not been out. What I really need to do is get brave enough to try and repair it. And what I would do to repair it is, I think I have some more of this fabric. It was 32 count Lugana Murano, I believe it was called at the time. And I would need to take a piece and hold it to the back, match up some holes, and restitch these buttonhole stitches. So one of these days I will get brave enough to do that. But this is the first runner that I made. And like I said, it sat on top of the television, and right now she's tucked away in the drawer. So hence the fold lines. So that's number one. Okay, let's see if I can do this. This one was on the main page of the video, the opening. And this is just one I did to show that the colors aren't showing real well, but it was just to show that you can use, that didn't help, that you can use colored thread. This happened to be a variegated Karen, I think it was either water lilies or watercolors, one of those. Again, this is on, I believe, 32 count Lugana. And this was whichever one of those Karen threads is equivalent to a size 8. That's what I used to do the cluster blocks and the buttonhole stitches. And if I remember correctly, because again, this was a long time ago, I used just regular DMC cotton for the wrappings. So you can do that. Another thing that you can use if you're working on tiny fabric is tatting thread. Oh my goodness. Had a moment there. So that's number 2. Number 3, well, these two are the same. This was a set of doilies that I made that I used in my living room. And these are done on Wedgwood Blue, Lugana. Yeah, you can tell they're used every day. This one's a little stained. But they're done on Wedgwood Blue Lugano with DMC Pearl Cotton, I want to say 932. But these were in my living room, so it's a match set. Yeah, the colors are not. Let me see if I can adjust my lamp to yeah, that now the colors are a little bit truer to what they should be, I think. Yeah. Here's my chair. Here we go. Okay. So that is those. And again, these things get used all the time. Okay. Now, this is also in my living room. Another doily that's on a marble top table. And instead of having it on the table square, I actually have it on the table this way. So again, this was probably a 32 count Lugana with 8 and 12 pearl cotton. And again, these were stitched a long, long time ago. And you can see they really do look, like they're not used all the time. And yeah, this is used every day. Every day. So it's, it's on the table all the time. So let's see. Give you a little closer. Well, here I can zoom in a little bit more. There you go. Okay. And this one, remember I talked about Woodlawn? This one took a second place at Woodlawn, which I really was honored about because the one that took first place was more of a long sampler type piece, and it had a lot of other specialty stitches in it besides the Hardanger stitches. But yeah, this one also gets used every day. So let's zoom in a little bit here so you can see it a little closer. But this took second place. And this one has the lace edge as opposed to a buttonhole edge, which really, in all honesty, I liked doing a whole lot better than the buttonhole edge, mainly because it is so easy when you're cutting away all your extra fabric. It's a little more work because you have to pull threads out past, the base of the fabric in order to make that lacy edge. But yeah, I really liked doing the lacy edge. And I'm sure that helped when it came to judging of this piece, the fact that it was a lace edge as opposed to a normal, not normal, but a regular buttonhole edge, because most pieces, a lot of people just do the buttonhole edge. But, it's the stitcher's choice. And that's one nice thing about Hardanger. If I didn't want to do these filling stitches, I could substitute something else in there. If I didn't want to do this, I could substitute something else in there. I could have filled this inside. You know, you can, it's a geometric shape, and you can fill these places in with really anything that you want. So it's a really nice embroidery to be creative in. So that's my woodlawn. And again, used every day. Okay, now let's see what else we have here. Open this up a little bit. And I have kind of pieces folded up inside here. Okay, let's do these. These are just little guys. And again, they're on some shelves that I have in my kitchen. Okay, this is just a small little piece that sits on a shelf in my kitchen. I can zoom you. Oh, I am zoomed all the way in there. Okay. I can bring it down a little bit. There you go. There you go. Yeah, I did a lot of dove's eyes in my day. You can see that. And a lot of I call them ships, but I did hear that there is a different name for them. So this is one of my smaller pieces. Then we have just this little guy. Oh, look, see, I need to trim those little ends off. Another smaller piece. Yeah, and sometimes these are nice just to sit something small on. Yeah, these are also in the shelves in my kitchen. And then again, another very simple small piece. There we go. Yeah, very simple, not much to it. Just basically did an outline, a center, some bars, wrap bars around the outside. Again, just sit something small on. Oh, what else do I have here? Oh, this one. This was my absolute very first piece. And it's done on, let me see. Oh my goodness, I actually did this one on 22 count Hardanger fabric with 5 and 8 pearl cotton. And it was the absolute very first piece I ever did. And it was out of one of Nordic Needles pattern books. And the reason I did this one is because it was my grandmother's, and it is just a very small tray. Actually, only the size of this doily is the tray. And then it has a very small sugar bowl and creamer. And that sets on top of this. So when I made this with that in mind, that it was going to sit on that tray with the sugar bowl and creamer. And now that I look at this, I can see things that I really could have done better, but it was my first piece. I see places on my eyelet stitches where, like, that last stitch could have been pulled. Where are you here? There we go. Yeah, could have been pulled a bit tighter because you can see that it's kind of not pulled tight there. Yeah. Although for a first piece, it's not so bad. Yeah. So that was piece number 1. Long time ago. And the fabric was ivory Hardanger fabric. And then I had a piano for my daughter, who the piano has since left the house, but I didn't give her this doily. It was a meanie. So this one, I'll just show you one end here for now. Let me zoom out a little bit. We're in pretty close here. There we go. This one sat on top of the piano. Now I have a roll-top desk sitting there, and it sits on top of the roll-top desk. So yeah, this was again one of my early pieces. Again, I think this was on 32 count Lugana again, with 8 and 12 pearl cotton. That really was my favorite to work with. More often than not, I was going to pick 32 count and use size 8 and 12 pearl cotton. But this is a nice size runner. Let me just move it through for you so you can get an idea how long it is. Yeah, it fit the top of a piano, and now that it's on the roll top desk, it does hang over the sides a bit, but it's really was just repeats of the same flowers and diamonds, and just repeated it for the length that you can adjust this length. You could have made it just 2 sections wide. You could have made it 3 sections wide. I mean, you could have made it any length that you wanted. This pattern's very, very adjustable. So that was my piano runner. And again, I always have to laugh, because if my husband, when I do show you the ones that go on a dining room table, if we take them off for whatever reason, and my husband puts them back on, he always tends to put them on upside down, because seriously, and that's part of the art of this kind of embroidery, that you should be able to not tell the front from the back. So, I mean, here, let's put them side by side for you. So here's the front, and this is the back. So, I mean, you can see a difference, but if you really don't know what you're looking for, you could tend to put it on whatever you're putting it on upside down. And my husband was famous for that. So that's that piece. Then we have, did I show you this one? No, let's do these small ones and get them out of the way. This one also sits, let me think. Oh, this one's on my shelves in the kitchen. And when I was putting Hardanger into Woodlawn, I was debating between this one and the one with the lacy edge. And I chose the one with the lacy edge, although either one of them would have done quite well, I'm sure. Because again, you can't tell the difference between the front and the back. So as you see, I mean, they are geometric pieces, and I could have not put the stars in here or the flowers, and certainly put something else in there. I could have, done more cluster blocks and cut out in the centers of these, had I chosen to do that. yeah, it's open for, as long as you, and even the foundation work is open. As long as it's geometric, you can really do anything that you want. And these stitches here that kind of look like rope, those are called faggot stitches. Get you in closer to see those. And those are, the hardest part to doing those is turning your corners. But those are rather fun to do. So that would be that one. And again, all of these were done probably the late 80s, well, mid 80s, somewhere in that general time frame. Then we have, this is a larger piece. This sits on my dining room hutch. Let's see, we're getting too many things here in the way. Fold them up. There we go. Okay, let me zoom out so you can see this. There we go. Yeah, this is on my dining room hutch all the time. All the time. So again, I could have changed anything on here that I wanted. I think this one a lot of these I basically just followed the pattern. But we'll zoom you in so you can see a little bit closer what the work is on it. Yeah, give you a corner view. Yeah, and the nice thing about a Hardanger is it's very rhythmic, very, very rhythmic and very relaxing. And once you have the one row established, you really don't need the pattern anymore, because you could just follow it around. And a lot of patterns, they're not going to give you the pattern for this whole thing. They're going to give you the pattern for, oops, sorry, I moved you. They're going to give you a pattern for a corner, or maybe the corner and the end. And it's open to your interpretation whether you, I could have, for all intents and purposes, made another corner here and just, let me zoom out, and just made it this big, from this point to this point. I could have made a corner out of this and just had it a small rectangle. I chose to do it differently, as I went with what the chart called for at the time. But again, you could do whatever you want. I could have actually just made a small square out of this. 4 corners using the same pattern. So, there's a lot of flexibility in this type of stitching. So, it's all what you want. Where do you want your finished piece? What do you want to use it for? Open to your interpretation. And again, one that often would get flipped the wrong way because you can't hardly tell the front from the back. So that's that one. This one is a rather big one, and I'm not going to be able to get the whole thing on, but I'll get as much as I can. This is a table center that sits on my dining room table. So what, okay, move that out of the way. Let's see if I can go out a little bit here. Yeah, I think that's as far as I can zoom out. Yeah, I'll pull it up a little bit more. Hope I don't lose it, and pardon the stain there. But this is about half of it, not quite. So this motif is on each side. This motif is on the like four corners of it. And it's fits in the center of a normal size dining room table. Yeah. So I should have taken a picture of the whole thing on my table, but I'm sorry I didn't. But there's a close-up of that, which is on each, would be each of the four sides. And then what would be the corners, we have this. And again, very simple, very, very simple designs. Not hard. These are all just satin stitches. All just satin stitches. So, although this one, let's see if I can bring it down here a little bit. There we go. This one, this eyelet was really fun to do. It's over, I can't remember. I'm thinking each one of the satin stitch spokes in that eyelet are over 4, I'm going to say either 4 or 6 threads. Yeah. So this was a fun piece to make. Took a while. Didn't make it in a day. Didn't make it, I think it took me, I can't remember. It took me a while, but I honestly don't remember how long. Okay, so that's that one. And then, okay, this is just a little one. Again, I used color on this. This piece actually was in the tray that my Blackbird designs of, is it summer, autumn, winter, that 3-piece triptych pieces in. I took this out of that serving tray and put that piece in. Again, this I did a long time ago. But it even had has some other specialty stitches in it. There's Smyrna crosses. I don't even remember what they're all called. There's satin stitches. There's, I forget what this particular stitch is called, but one side of it is in blue and one side of it's in white. This is some faggot stitching. Yeah, there's a lot of, this is some 4-sided, oh, look at that. You get my terrible gray hair in there. This is some 4-sided stitch. So again, another fun piece. And then lastly, as far as Hardanger pieces are concerned, this is also another table center, and do pardon the wrinkles. This is the one that if you look at my very first Hardanger videos, tutorial type videos that I did several, 4 or 5 years ago, I think those were when I posted those. This is the piece that you see laying on the table as I was doing that tutorial. This is a piece that I used the foundation from another piece, but I changed the filling stitches to stitches that I wanted. So it really is an adaptation of another design that I personalized for myself. So this design is the center on each side, and then each corner has this, and each corner is filled with wraps and dove eyes, and believe me, that took a while. That took quite some time to do. Yeah, so this one took a couple months. Let me zoom out and see if I can get you a bigger perspective of the whole thing. There we go. That's about as good as I'm going to get it to see the whole thing, or the best part of the whole thing. And I have one more Hardanger piece, but I am going to have to pause this video and insert a picture of that piece. And you'll see why, because I can't really bring them here to where I'm filming. So hold on, and I'll be right back with a picture of that piece. Okay, this one is the piece de resistance. This is my Hardanger curtain, and this hangs in my downstairs powder room. And there is another one just like it that hangs in the room next to that, which is a laundry room. I can tell you each one of these took 6 months. 6 months to make. And the only stitching on them is what you see at the bottom. From that point, from the little ships and things that are above the open work area, the rest of that is blank. And then the the casing that the curtain rod goes through is hem stitched. So yeah. These hang, like I said, in my powder room and in the laundry room that's downstairs. So that, my friends, is my Hardanger pieces. Now, if you saw, I did not include in my other video a picture of my quilt. So I am also going to insert that here. So again, I'm going to pause and be right. Okay, I'm back. Before I show you the quilt, I did find a picture of a close-up of the curtain, just to give you an idea of what that looks like close up. So it's yeah, a lot of work. 6 months. What took the longest was doing all the wrapping. So there's a lot, pardon me, a lot of bars that needed to be wrapped. So that's a close-up of the curtains. And then with that, let me get the right one here. There you go. That would be my quilt. And this has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 different samplers on it. Yeah, I forget the names of a lot of them. Some of them are GGR. Some of them are Samplers Berlin. I want to say one of them's Hannah Lancaster down in the bottom corner. Yeah, I don't remember the names of all of them. That's terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. But that is the quilt. If any of you watched the Country Stitchers Day Treat, this was also, I took this to the Day Treat and showed it in person. So I failed to include it in Do You Want to See my sampler walls? So I thought I'd stick it in here. So with that, my friends, I think that's all that I have for today. So I want to thank you so very much for spending a little bit of time with me today and having me in your home. And again, welcome to, I'm so glad you all have come back to visit with me. And I am so glad all of my new subscribers have found me and are spending some time with me. It's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. So thank you for having me in your home today. And weekend is coming up. So I hope all of you have a wonderful weekend and a happy stitching time. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.